there's a Junko's.
There is a Junko's.
And I actually have it.
Yay!
I
Did we know?
know.
Anyway, there's a
Junko's.
there's a
Junko's Play.
Junko's,
Now
and I
it
think
says
it's
7F snack
interesting.
Junko's Play.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that that you actually have this one this time, and I think it's because of George. That's what I think.
Oh, is it George? That's why.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah,
you
George
haven't
would
had
do that.
any of them
I
except for this
know.
one, and I'm just like, if she don't have George, I'm gonna riot because it'll be weird. I'm like, oh, she got it's because George
And there's a drawing of Yasu as a baby.
as a baby, and look at Nana and Hachi as the tattoo girls from the
I know.
thousands.
Right? That's great.
Which, okay, sorry. Like background on that, I think I know why people like drew them together, but like it's like they were like German girls that were pretty much like you probably know this too. Like the
Yep.
whole thing is that they were like lesbians, but they weren't. It was like
Yep.
a whole show. And how
Yep.
apt for Hachi and
Right?
Nana.
They were Russian, by the way.
Russian, sorry. I thought it was
Yep.
German.
No,
I
they're Russian.
am incorrect.
Yeah. They were
So,
the singers were a part of children's musical group Nepo Seti before being managed and produced by the director Ivan something, and singing with Russian label Nefumad.
mhm.
And let's
All the
see.
sapphic overtones.
Yeah, like it was super sapphic, right? Like it, yeah, very, very much. And um, mm, they're now deemed as problematic, but at the same time, again, like performers are performing. We have to stop having
Yeah,
these ideologies that performers aren't performing and that the things that we know about them aren't curated. They have entire
yeah, and
teams.
it's
Every single
yeah,
famous
it's
person has an
weird.
entire team. Even on social media now, like even people's like quote unquote TikToks, like they're still like just a sliver of a persona of a person. So like, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't see tattoo as having a problematic legacy.
I
Because
don't
they were
either.
performing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess it was, well, I don't know. It's I feel like most people in our bracket of the generation um don't have an issue with tattoo because they're like especially, people in the queer community because they're just like it's kind of all the representation that we had at that moment, so, you
Yeah,
know,
exactly. It was
we don't,
representation.
right? It's like we don't hate it because it was all we had. So I don't know. I don't know who's got that hot take. Probably
Well, but like
people.
they were also, they were also doing it publicly.
Yes.
Like people were able to actually see it,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah, exactly.
And like the thing is like it was also they were making a representation because this was also a point in time, at least that I remember, that a lot of when you thought about lesbians, it was like almost exclusively more mask and butch lesbians.
Mm-hmm.
And like that was made very derogatory.
Mm-hmm.
And then they showed up. So even if it was
Right.
performative, they were still showing femme represented, like same sex, like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When that wasn't, aside from like very specific movies of hot girls making out
Right.
for men,
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, so it's what it is. But anyway, the art is of them.
Yes. Sorry. I thought that that was so apt. Just had to point it out because everyone just, especially for our troll commenter who's like, these
Uh-huh.
two need to be together. It's like, actually.
By the way.
Yeah, by the way, their story is
Hmm.
almost the tattoo story where everyone's just like, oh yeah, and they should totally be together. Turns out it's a facade.
Right. Well,
It's
and I
not.
mean, like, it's even like just weird having these conversations now. Like, people just assume I'm queer because I'm queer coded, right? But also, according
Mm,
to a Christian standard, I am. So it's like, well, in what, you know what I mean? So, like, how deep do you want to make that conversation,
mm-hmm.
really? And can you actually have that conversation?
No, that is,
No, you can't. Most people can't.
no. Is,
Hmm. So then there's also a little bear. Like, there's lots of bears because the forest bears.
Right, the Pasaku bear or the, what is it, the Gokenjo bear. I guess it's the
Yeah,
Gokenjo bear.
it's the Gokenjo bear. And then there's a hand with like a little speeder ring,
Spider
and it says
ring.
Eric Clapton's Layla, such a darling song. I once heard that Eric Clapton fell in love with his, here we go, with his friend's
Mm-hmm.
wife, so he put his feelings for her in this song. Scandal. Yeah, Venus retrograde. It's all about scandal. When did this customer appear? Shoji like looks over, and
Oh
you
yeah,
just see
because
the back of
Shoji's
a
here.
hat. Yeah, because Shoji's here, and he's like working. Because he got a little uniform shirt on, and he's like,
Uh-huh.
"Welcome. What can I get you?" There, and he's like, "There's no need to welcome me. I can do it myself." Junko's always like, Junko always like to be lazy. You are helplessly taking her shifts without getting paid, right? He's like, "No, it's my job." And it's George.
It's George.
It's George, and he's in like a perfectly tailored suit with a fancy hat. And he's like, "Junko is such a problematic woman. Your precious time should be spent doing stuff for you alone." And then Shoji's like big eyed, and there's like stars everywhere, like just stars, and like he's speechless. And George is like, all the stars are happen to be around George, and he's like, "Shoji, did you know about Rumi? Or do you know about rum? Is it rum or Rumi?"
It's roomy, and also see if Hachi and Nana had just stayed, George would have shown up at
I
Junko's.
know, but maybe no, maybe they had to break through the barrier for him to get out.
Maybe.
Ah, see?
Ah.
And Shoji's like, "Huh? What manga was she part of? The Yazawa family is too big. I can hardly remember all of them. There are so many characters. So many characters." And so George is just like glancing down, and Shoji's like, and he like explains, not a manga character, but a real person who's very distant from the Yazawa family. She was the voice artist for the role of the main character, when the popular series Close Story was translated into an anime. What's Close Story? What does yours
Gokenjo.
say? Oh, now they're called. There's too many translations of the name.
Oh no.
Yeah, there is a lot of translations of the name, and it's also been changed several times throughout the decades. It's actually been changed.
Dang.
I know. It's
What's
annoying.
up with that?
Well, because like to find different like periods of time of certain things, you have to know the different names to search.
Mm.
Uh-huh. Through the archives. Yep. It's a pain. Um, yeah, yeah. It's annoying. And so Shoji's like, "Oh, run run." And then there's Hachi. She was really cute in the background. Oh no. And it says, in fact, she just released a new single. The single's cover was drawn by Yazawa herself. And and Shoji's like, "Really? Clapton is amazing, but you mustn't miss out on this CD. Here, you can have it." And he's like, "Thank you. I'll play it in the store." And he's like, and George is like, "Rumi is a remarkable little girl. Not only does she sing, she also does voice acting and stage drama. And she doesn't have an agent organizing everything for her. She does everything herself. Even though in this matrial driven, oh, matrial, okay. It's like there's a hyphen. There's two hyphens. Matrial driven society, a lot of people believe that the winners are those with the name and money. But those are all just people's judgments. The most important thing, I'm sorry, George, I can't take you seriously when you say that because you have all the trust fund money. Okay? So, like, it's not your place. It's not your lane. Mm-mm. That privilege. Mm-mm. The most important thing is that you live your life to the fullest every day as if there's no tomorrow. Wouldn't you agree? He can't say that. But Shoji is just shocked and still in his star days.
Yep.
And it says, for example, you removed yourself from the main character status and chose to live with a female that can provide you a simple happiness that you cherish so much. That's most admirable of you. And he's like, no, 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 no. Even though you might run into problems, but do not mind them. Gangbait? Okay. And then George is like just leaving, and he's like, it's time for me to leave. Please say hello to Junko-chan for me. And then he's like, huh? Wait. May I please ask which manga you are from? And what is your name? And George is like, and he's like, you do not need to know my name. I'm just a passerby.
He's like, son, you don't you know me? Okay, okay. So the first time that I actually read this, I had no idea who George was because I hadn't read Paracus yet.
Oh,
So
okay.
I was like, who's this like super pretty guy in the cool hat? And then when I read Paracus, I'm like, oh, it's George. Okay.
All makes sense now.
It all makes sense now. That's the guy they were gonna try to go find.
They're finding him. They're finding him.
You're finding.
He's a Junko's place.
Is it Junko's? The girls are lost.
Okay, it's Makeko.
Yeah, yeah. It's no, it's Masato.
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 Makeko's from Paracas, sorry.
Sorry. And she's screaming, "Wake up, Captain! I got big news! Before we knew it, 2 Nana CDs went on sale, and like it's the captain, but it's Nobu, and he's wrapped in a sleeping bag.
That looks more like a body bag to me, just saying.
It kind of does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
There's like a fire over here, and there's a little bird that's like going whoo 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 in the tree, and
And
there's
there's butterflies, but it's nighttime.
butterflies. Right? It's going. Maybe they're moths. No, they're
No,
butterflies.
those are butterflies. They don't have fat bodies. I
You
mean,
hear that, moths? You're fat. You,
no, but like that's part of the story is they're just chubby. They're cute because they're chubby.
they're so cute. The moon loves them. I love moths. They're just goth butterflies.
They are. They're
But
cute and they chubby
they're so chubby.
and
I love
fuzzy and they're
them.
really fuzzy and they have the cutest little antler ears ever.
Mm-hmm. I, so Nobu sits up. He's like, huh? What? Vice Captain? Is it a dangerous experiment? Like some wannabe blast or wannabe trap nest? No one would buy something that scary. There's a little arrow that says Vice Captain for Masato, and she's opening up a paper. It goes Russell, and she goes, no, it's not like that. The first one is called Punk Night. The theme came from the live show that took place in Volume 4. 9 current indie rock bands played on it. There's a Sex Pistols cover and other young punk stuff. There's a lot of individuality, and nothing fits nicely into any one genre. Even if you're not a big Nana fan, you'll like it. And Nobu says, God damn it! If we hadn't wandered off and gotten lost in here, we could have been on that CD too. But I wonder if they would have let us. We were just filler for a cancellation.
What
Um,
shirt is he wearing?
Camouflage.
Is it?
Yes, that is a camouflage
It
shirt.
looks like it's like it looks like it's like one of those like velour velvet like smoking jackets.
I mean, it could be that too, but they're in the woods, so
Yeah, that
I
makes it
must.
better though. He was in a body bag. Who knows? They might not even be in the woods in the woods. There's butterflies at night.
Right, right. I'm
They
just
might be
like
on
again,
stage.
right? I'm sorry. Who's lost? Because where are the girls? You know. And Masato's like, the second CD is awesome too. It's called Nana's Song is My Song. They invited the public to send in demos of songs based on Nana's image. All entries had to have a female vocalist. And out of 1,000 entries, they picked 13 songs from 13 bands to put on the CD. And Nobu's really shocked. His mouth is all big, and he's like, what? Out of 1,000 songs? That's insane! And now Masato's whispering, and she's like, well, we're not sure that number is accurate. It's common to embellish in this business. Of course, it might be true, but still, it's suspect. And now Nobu's sweating and he's got like a band-aid on his forehead. And he's like, well, at any rate, they were picked from a real tight competition. And Masato says, totally. So you can bet the quality's high. And it should be interesting because the criteria of being based on Nana's image is open for interpretation. What aspects of the manga inspired bands and how they express that will vary a lot. Heart. The musical genres range from rock, pop, ska, remember ska, guys? Blues,
Hey,
whatever.
Ska's making a full comeback. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Nate loves ska.
So do I.
Because there are lots of sad songs that'll make you cry. And now Nobu's like stress crying, so hey, drink your water, guys. You haven't drank any this chapter, so do it now.
In weeks,
In weeks, right?
Haji has not been crying.
Right?
She's been weeping.
He's
She
been
hasn't been freaking
weeping,
out about the Demon Lord.
right? He says, but if we hadn't wandered off and gotten lost in here, we could have played on that one too. That's what makes me cry. And Masato says, but how can we get our hands on these CDs? Even if we have to order them, I don't see any shops around here. And Nobu says, then where did you get that paper? You're the one who's suspect. The Family Times? Question mark. And she says, you've never heard of it? It's the Yazawa family newsletter. And he says, I don't know it existed. It's not published regularly, but if you subscribe as soon as a new issue comes out, no matter where you are, you get it delivered to your bedside at midnight. Oh man. And then
Mhm.
and then he repeats to your bedside at midnight? And then Masato's like looking out at us here, very
Yeah, it's a horror comic now.
it's right? I'm like, why does it look like Juji Joe
Junji
Ito?
Ito has entered the
Yeah,
chat.
right? And that's her face. That's what she looks like. And she says, but no one's ever seen the delivery person. And he says, Kofu Shinbun, which is apparently an old horror manga
Oh, mine just says
by
horror news.
oh, horror news?
Yeah.
Oh no, he's dropping this manga by Sonado Jiro,
Oh,
Newspaper of Terror.
newspaper of terror.
I need it.
I need it too. I'm looking it up.
And then we have a scene change back to Junko's.
I will in a second. Hold on. Manga. Found it. When is it from? Oh, it's from the 70s.
Oh,
Yeah.
that tracks.
I'll try to find scans. There's scans right there. So
Nice.
just Google newspaper of terror manga, and then the third one down on my Google search, because my algorithm or whatever is the manganello scanlations. So then we have we have a gasping shoji saying, Junko, I knew you would be here. She's at Jackson's.
Yep. Like always.
Jackson's like, welcome. And Shoji's like, there was a really weird guest at the shop just now. Do you know him? And she's like, weird? And he's like, blue haired, royal blue eyes, unknown age, someone that would make you hate him. And he started to rant on about life's lessons in the omake pages and let out the most curious aura. I almost got brainwashed. And she's like, who could he be? Or he's like, who could he be? And she looks shocked.
Yep.
And she's like, that's George from Parakiss. And then looks really shocked. Um, and it says, you can't let people from the sixth floor in. Georgie's like, huh? So he's the legendary George? See, here's the thing. He was able to enter because the Nanas are in the sixth floor.
Right?
Because they broke the Oswaldverse timeline.
They did.
See? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You can't mess.
You can't mess with these things. Well, I mean, but the Nanas don't know.
No.
Especially when Hachi's leading the band.
Right?
Don't let Hachi lead. Don't do it.
No.
It's like letting my mother go. on an adventure on her own, even just to the bathroom. It
It's
unlocks a
facts.
whole new experience. Um,
It's
so
true.
June,
I've been there.
right? So June is like, his own series ended, so he got bored and decided to disturb my store. I already told him our publishers are different. He's not allowed in, but he. And so Kyosuke looks shocked and he's like, ah, Parakisu ended? So they don't even know that it ended. Well, it's short. What, it's like 4 or 5 volumes?
Yeah, I mean,
It's really short.
yeah, it's short. Short
And
but sweet.
and so now Shoji looks like he's in a horror manga.
His eyes are just
His
eggs.
eyes are
Just
they're just eggs. Yeah, they're just eggs. They're the eggs on the curry of the people.
yep.
Um he's like, I suddenly want to read it really, really badly. What kind of manga is it? Is it strange and mysterious? And Jude's like,
Hmm.
there's no need to read it. That's what he was trying to make you do. Do not fall into his trap. And then Shoji's like, ah, yes. What about the postcards from fans? Did you introduce them? Oh, this is June saying it. Did you introduce them? I couldn't find anyone trustworthy to do the job but you. And Shoji's like, I took out the drawings, but then George came along, took up all the space, and I didn't have any time to look at the letters. And June like is not happy. She is not happy at all. And she's like, does George want to take the store away from me? I will not let him for the life of me. Can't take this lightly. It's a threat. And so Shoji's Junko, you're finally serious about the store? That's great. And then it says brainwashed with an arrow. My
Yep.
time should be spent on myself alone. Kyosuke, as usual, is just in the background observing, just speechless. Like, what is going on?
Right, just
And
smoking a
so,
cigarette.
right? So Jude's like at the door and she's like, all right, let's go. Let's see, you should help me out once in a while. And Kyosuke's like, what an amazing person. Able to manipulate Junko in such a way. And Shoji's like, oh, then we must end this volume Samake then. And so then there's Isabel and that's why there was butterflies at night. Those were
Mm.
parakiss butterflies.
Yeah.
Yeah, see? And so it's George and Isabel like in the distance laughing.
Mm-hmm.
And in like what looks like it's like a beaded postcard type thing, it says, you're amazing, George darling. We'll be waiting for your letters, dearest. Because now they want letters.
Right? Guess what letters too?
Oh no. And then there's like a scan of the page of Family News,
Mm-hmm.
and it's in Japanese, and they're advertising Parakiss and
Mine's
the Rumi
all,
Roll album and
yeah.
Cookie.
Mine's all translated. So,
Oh, mine's not.
oh,
Mine's
I'm
not.
sorry.
It's okay. And then there's a flyer for Punk Night from Nana.
Mm-hmm.
9/26. Oh my god. It's like, oh, it's not okay. I was like, it's the same. No, it's not. It's not the same date. Oh my god. Don't listen to me. It says 9/26 concentration CD on release. And then it has like it's essentially like a $30 CD.
Mm-hmm.
And it has a radio station listed and then all of the other bands that are playing. One is called Flower from the UK.
Yeah. Do you also have the picture of Misato, Nobu, Nana, and the other Nana like in a roll down at
Yeah.
the bottom? And it,
Yeah.
the translation for that is "Have you seen me?"
Oh, because they're missing. Oh, that's
They're
so funny.
missing.
I love that. They are
Right.
missing. They're all in the woods.
All in the one.
They're all in the woods where
Yep.
it's dark and not dark, and
Yep.
there's bears and poison mushrooms.
Yes. I should actually go look at because I have like the other Nana CDs, but I haven't listened to Nana's Song Is My Song or The Punk Night or Rumi Roll.
Mm,
So I should just like get on YouTube and do
right.
that.
Well, Rumi Roll is like a different artist.
I mean, it's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
It's the
It
Parakiss artist, right? Is that what they said?
yeah, it's in the Yazawa canon. So,
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's part of the Oswaverse.
right.
So,
Thank you guys so much for joining us here. Check out all the socials and thanks for being here. And we will see you all in the next episode. Goodbye forever.
同じ空気を吸ってどこかで同じことを考えてどこかに繋がる道を歩きどこかで同じ月を